Caesar arriving in Egypt and discovering Pompey is dead. 2000 years of Jewish history in a nutshell. Expelled from your country. Find a new country to live in. Start making money in this new country. People start burning your house. Expelled from your country. Slovenia, we are independent now. Yugoslavia, well I guess we have to invade you now. Slovenia, ambushes JNA at the border and destroys several tanks. I said we are independent now. Yugoslavia, understandable, have a nice day. 5 mass extinctions events, including the Permian, that killed over 95% of ocean animals. Horseshoe crabs. How may I get faith in Christ? I see. Spends 14 years writing an amateur translation of the Bible into the Massachusetts language. I hate titans. Turns into titan. I hate gals. Turns into gal. I hate vampires. Turns into vampire. I hate Romans. Turns into Romans. When you tell him over the phone that you're built like a goddess, but he never took art history and is in for a shock. When you witness a bunch of tutsis getting brutally slaughtered, but you can't intervene because you'll be court-martialed if you do. Cupbearers in movies. Taste my food, cupbearer. No, what if it's poisoned? Cupbearers in reality. Taste my food, cupbearer. Oh my god, oh my god. This is the greatest honor. Barges into the historical records at age 19. Defeats the largest empire at the time by 23. Refuses to elaborate. Dies at 30. Romans after 800 exhausting years. Finally, it's done. Some Greeks after just 11 years. Nice warm up, boys. Farts are so gross. Yeah, no doubt about that. Meanwhile, in ancient Inuit culture, let me listen to your farts so I can know how the hunt will go. Of course, my friend. Printing portraits of Abraham Lincoln to make money on his popularity. Lincoln grows a beard and you nearly go bankrupt. Native American tribes when Andrew Jackson demanded that they relocate to Oklahoma. Nap man, I'm pretty freaking far from okay. My favorite artist announces tour across the Europe. Me living in the region of slightly smaller purchasing power. From Stettin in the Baltic to Trieste in the Adriatic, an iron curtain has descended across the continent. I would never simp for someone that it would be very literally impossible to meet. Oh my god, they are so smart and pretty. Beer brewers in the 1600s adding random smelly plants to keep their product from spoiling on the long trip to India. Medical doctors in the 1700s with decades of experience trying to cure yellow fever. When the guy sitting next to you in kamikaze class is a little too eager, I hope we die quickly. French soldiers the 22nd of April 1915 be like, it smelled like mustard in here. When people claim that runes are magical symbols that have secret meanings. Well yes, but actually no. Peter the Great to everyone who he met during his grand embassy. Who are you, who are so wise in the ways of science? Wins a couple of battles. Completely fails to achieve any strategic goals. Loses the war. Calls himself the greatest general after Alexander and Pyrrhus to the face of the guy who beat him. Refuses to elaborate. Can't have an overpopulation crisis if 90% of your male population was killed in the war. When you're a college student in 1833 and your best friend grabs the plate of fish you wanted at the cafeteria, you know the rules. It's time to die. Who cares about zodiac signs? What's your favorite medieval helmet? Average changing flag to fit political ideology fan. Average keeping the old flag enjoyer. Average Europeans iron chainmail and plate armor fan. Average mainland Southeast Asian going into battle practically half naked. World War II ends. The British electorate. Oh, you're still here. Get the hell out. Andrew Carnegie when the extremely wealthy don't use their money to help the public. You're a freaking disappointment. I'm the only true successor to the Roman Empire. People on December 31st 1899 reading that January 1st 1900 will actually be the 20th century. Storm Thurmond spends over 24 hours explaining why he's opposed to the Civil Rights Act. The rest of the Senate, 2 hours later. Yeah, well, you know. That's just like your opinion, man. Guy Fawkes, got any advice for me about planting the gunpowder? If the guard asks you your name and you need an alias, don't use John Johnson, you dumb butt. Russia sells Alaska to USA for $7.2 million. USA finds gold and oil there. Russia. Letting a religion live in your state peacefully. Writing in an extermination order to kill and expel them from your state. Humans are naturally good inside proponents when the concept of you can't just murder anyone you feel like had to be invented. Leaving an advantageous position. Chasing a defeated enemy. The Spanish holding out for 26 years. Morocco trying to siege Ceuta. Survivors of the Bismarck when they hear the Polish national anthem. Americans before the 1920s keeping themselves hydrated in the morning. We do not have Wi-Fi. Talk to each other. Pretend it's 1917. Serbs and Bosnians are natural enemies, like Serbs and Croatians, and Serbs and Austrians, and Serbs and Kosovans, and Serbs and other Serbs. Damn Serbs, they ruined Serbia. Kingdom of Siam avoiding colonization by dressing like Europeans, hiring European advisors, and embracing European goods. How do you do, fellow Europeans? Spartan elections. Athenian elections. Yes, I vote for this. Israeli F-15s and F-16s. The entire Syrian Air Force that was flying over Lebanon. Public washrooms then. Oh my god, look, Cornelius and Cicero are crapping over there. Let's sit next to them and chat while I empty my bowels. Public washrooms now. Damn, I'm bamboozled, can't pee anymore. MacArthur, you drop nukes on Japan. People call you the peacemaker. Truman, I just suggest a drop nuke on Korea, I get fired. That doesn't seem fair. When I'm in a freaking trench in World War I and my opponent is 500 raging lunatics in skirts charging my lines. Latin American country, I'm going to diversify my economy so I don't have to rely on the producing bananas. The USA. France in the 1870s explaining how the loss of Alsace-Lorraine is a national tragedy. The Ottomans. World War I vets, when they thought they were done fighting, but then get sent back to Europe to fight Germans again. Ah crap, here we go again. Visit America to find ways to improve the USSR's railways. See the 9000 class locomotive and decide to one-up it. Build a record-breaking locomotive. It's so big and heavy it destroys rail track and derails. Ashoka Maurya when he's converted into a hero for centrists, leftists, and right-wing people. I'm playing all sides so that I always come out on top. Just as in fiction. Please stop making fun of me. I only wish to be freed from this living nightmare. Just as in reality, I'm fed, clothed, well paid. I can insult the king without consequences and I'm in some cases among his most important advisors. Hugh Chulin. Any man who wishes to marry me must beat me in wrestling. If he loses, he must give me 100 horses instead. Rando simps. This will be easy. Later. 200,000 horses are ready, with 1 million more well on the way. That moment when your country used to be one of the strongest, biggest and most influential empire in the entire history of the world only to turn into a nation that just exists. Be older than half the nations on the continent. Continuously get told you're moments away from collapse. I hate titans. Turns into titan. I hate gals. Turns into gal. I hate vampires. Turns into vampire. I hate Romans. Turns into Romans. Promise me you won't cry. I promise. I'm in tears while carrying you to your last resting place. As much as I rejoiced when bringing you home in my own hands 15 years ago, I won't cry. It takes courage to grow up and be who you really are. Odysseus explaining in detail how he carved his bed from an olive tree, which was connected to the foundations of his house. His wife who just wanted to make sure it was really him. John White, upon returning to Roanoke, where the FRMI settlers. British gun manufacturers designing the Lee Enfield rifle. German gun manufacturers designing the Mauser 1888 rifle. French gun manufacturers designing the Lebel rifle. Gavrilo Princip watching Europe descend into the First World War after killing Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Rasputin after being poisoned, shot, stabbed, clubbed, and castrated. I didn't hear no bell. Rome. You were like a brother to me, Arminius. Arminius. I hate you. French soldiers, the 22nd of April 1915 be like. It smelled like mustard in here. I freaking love centralization. I want to freaking consolidate South America into centralized superstates with a strong executive branch and limited regional governance. Bomb blows up. Oppenheimer, what have I done? I thought I was building a rice cooker. Truman, well, you're technically right. You can't defeat me, I know, but he can. When people claim that runes are magical symbols that have secret meanings, well yes, but actually no. East and West Germany in 1989 to 1990. Margaret Thatcher. Byzantium isn't Rome. When your daughter wants to be treated like a princess and she finds out she's being married off to the heir to the Belgian throne. Call yourself a great power. Think you can take more of everyone's stuff. Build big armies and navy to match that. Cannot even conquer Belgium during the entire duration of Great War. Soviets thinking that surely 5,000 men and 10 tanks will be enough to punch through Afghanistan's Salom Pass. Shah Massoud. I'm about to end this man's whole career. Please ancestors, I need your guidance. Loud skittering sounds. Mop. Phineas and Ferb are tearing down the walls of Constantinople with Mem II. They're using cannons to tear down the walls. Just come look.